in this case, I just wrote a method called char example. And once again, it sets first name to a char array of 5 characters and important data to a char array of 10 characters. And I save Jane in first name. I save password in the important data. You can make it capital if people want to literally do apples to apples. Okay. And then the same thing, it's going to ask me to input my first name, and then it's going to output what's in the first name variable, the first name array, and it's going to output what is in the important data. So I'm going to run it. Let me just make sure I'm going to, for now, I'm going to comment out the other stuff. I had written the other stuff as well. Let me just get rid of you. Okay. So if I run it, the first time always takes forever. Okay, enter my first name. So the first time I'm going to be good and just enter Jane again, or Bob, which is what I did. Okay. And the output's going to look a little different. That's okay, because I didn't want to write a whole bunch of loops. So I just used the array list class. So my first name is Bob. My important data is password. What should I do now? Krista, you help me out again, please. When I run it next time, what should I input in order to test it, like we just did for the C++ code?
Let's see. So we're entering the name now?
Yep. So what name should we enter, Krista?
All right, Sebastian.
How about Sebastian? And before I hit enter, what do we think is going to happen?
I think it's going to do the same thing as before, give us the first part, and then the rest would overflow.
Okay. It did it differently. It didn't show us there was an overflow. It kept it legit. With Sebastian coming out, it dynamically made that bigger, but it didn't overflow into password. So we think that it did not corrupt anything. Password wasn't touched. These two are not declared bumper to bumper. So it did not corrupt password. I don't believe the way Java works that the additional characters entered corrupted anything. Okay.
I just feel like it doesn't make any sense that it allows you to add that to an array that's only 5 spots.
It depends on you declare the array, yeah. And this array sort of behaved a little more like a dynamic array. But and if we loaded it differently, if we loaded it instead individually character by character, that would have changed it. So if we, I believe, as I say that, but it would be a pain. You'd have to ask for one character at a time. If we had loaded the array in a loop, inputting one character at a time, then we would have thrown an error when we try to put in officially the 6th character. But because we kind of used a char array, it was a little different. It let it go. But if I had asked you inputting it and we did it like one character at a time, it would have behaved a little differently.
Right. Yeah.
So I could break it.
I think it's because it says to char array.
Yeah.
That's probably, yeah, I think that's what's, like you said, that's what's doing it.
Yeah, so if I instead, ask you to input one at a time, or I loaded it this way, now I have to watch what I do when I get myself into x equals 0. Keep going as long as x is less than 5. Go for x plus plus. Oh my goodness, I am literally like, it's so dark in my room. And I load, and I have 2 first name, and I do this. first name 2. I try to load it that way. And I say first name 2 of I, X is equal to first name dot char. I'm just going to let me do this at X. Oh, why am I getting that? Oh, it doesn't like that. I was going to try to load it one at a time. Oh, it's first name 2.
I think it's just the brackets that are screwing you up, I think.
It doesn't recognize first name as a string. So I'd have to convert it into a string. Oh, yeah. If I just take it in that way. There we go. So the body U. So I'm doing all this changing because God knows I just love to code at 8:44 at night. Here you go. And there. And now.
It's just the brackets on your for loop. I think that's the only problem.
No, it's a systematic, so I don't have first name as a string anymore.
Does it does it like that with white space?
That's it. Here you go. Okay. So now it's just a little different. I don't know if I'm going to break it or not. I'm thinking that, oh, right. So first name dot length. Okay. Great. So now I'm putting first name as a string, whatever size it is. If it's that I'm trying to force one character at a time into my array now called first and 2. So if I run it, and I enter Bob, I'm all good. I even shows the extra space that I have because it's a 5 character. But now if I run it and I put Sebastian in, yay! I buffer overflowed it, so I made it happen. Oh, okay. So here's my error because this time I try to put in a string that is longer than 5 characters. And when I try to one character at a time shove it into or assign it into my my first N2 array, which is now what I call the first N2, I got buffer overflow, which is what we were hoping for. It is in essence this code doing what the C++ code totally let us do. But the most important thing is when we ran it and we tried to break it, I guarantee you that the important data storing the word password was not corrupted, okay? Because this kicked us out at around line, I don't know, 41 or whatever. It kicked us out right here. And so even though we did not get to output and see what was going on, I can guarantee you that the important data was never corrupted while that was all going on. Great. So we see how Java behaves. We see how C++ behaves. And so if you were developing safe, secure software, what language is better to use and why?
Wouldn't be using C++.
No, you wouldn't be using C++, right? It's like if someone's demoing, if someone was, demoing 2 appliances and every time they demoed, say they were demoing 2, I don't know, microwave ovens, and every time they demoed microwave on A, like it went off, something bad happened, or they were and all. Why would you go with that one? you can make you're more guaranteed by the way it does memory management to have secure software with Java as opposed to C++. And of course, there's all these different things you can add, like if statements and sizes to the code, and that's what your lab is going to be like. What can you're going to test things and see what happens in the lab, and then you're going to try to write some code to figure out how to fix it. Okay, so maybe it's a disservice to not show you, like in this one. So here, what could I do to make sure that I only take the first 5 characters into the variable first and 2? Any thoughts what I could do for that? How do I make sure, how do I run this program, let them enter the word Sebastian, the name Sebastian, but make sure that I only take the first 5 characters from Sebastian?
I guess only thing I can think of.
You don't have to know Java code. Just tell me in words. You don't have to like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I would give it a limit. Like that's it. You can't put anything else in it. It'd be a stop.
So one of the ways to do that is similar to what we did before, but what Mike had done. So now I've hard coded the constant variable or final in Java to 5. I've said, you know what? That's the size. You're going to be 5. So I didn't change that. The first and 2 character array is still the same. But now when I'm loading the first and 2 character array, I will not allow the value to get any larger than the size of that array. So when I run it to prove it to you, fixed it. I only took the first 5 characters in, and I did not corrupt the password. And what's really nice about this is if I decided, oh my gosh, I only put 5 characters for the first name, that's crazy. People's first names are way longer. I think people's first names could be maybe as large as 20. All I got to do is that.
And you change it in that one location, and because you have size mentioned, you don't have to go through the whole program to change, right?
Exactly. So if these lines of code are, 5,000 lines of code away, and one of my colleagues is working on it, and we are in different cities and different countries, which is how I worked a lot of my life, where people were in Tokyo and in London, and so we weren't even working at the same time. I don't have to have them go ahead and change and hard code their values. I can just send them email and say, yeah, I changed the size. Just want to let you know. Okay. If I remember to tell them, I remember actually forgetting to tell them sometimes. They're like, what'd you do? So now if I run it, I said, oh yeah, you know what? We had some guy named Sebastian or what's Sebastian, a crab? Some crab named Sebastian from Little Mermaid. And he was really crotchety that we couldn't fit his name. But now, oops. I'm taking it back. Not a good way to end. Size equals 20. What do I do? Should work. Island size. Huh. That's not a great way to end the night. Anybody know what I did wrong?
Wait, what happened? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, apparently. Why does it think it's... Oh. That was not a great way to end it. Let me see if I can just do 10. So 5 behaved. And then when I change the size, which I'm like, I'm bragging about how easy that's supposed to be.
Oh, it's because you're trying to get characters from first name that don't exist, right? Because you're doing first name dot char at x, right? But
Yeah,
that,
or is it,
oh wait, no, first and two, right? Because that, which one? No,
oh, it could
actually,
be
I don't
both.
even know. Actually, this is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. No, that's not like. There we go. That's 5. So now we're back to that. And if I change it to 20, well, that's a mystery at 8 o'clock, 8:54 at night. Shit, that. I have a lot of coders in my audience right now, so the only thing I can think of is that it doesn't like that I initialized you there. No. That is your index out of bounds on like 42. There I am bragging about how that's
I
lovely
think
that it was.
it's because first name is so Sebastian, right? And then you're trying to put that into first N, but after 7 or whatever Sebastian is, there's nothing to put into it. You know what I'm saying? So first name dot char
Oh,
at x. You know what I
right.
mean?
There's no character. That's it. That's exactly right. Okay. So I don't have to do something about when they put the first name in, getting the size then. So, okay. So we'll go back to that and leave it that way for now. And so then we would have to do something about checking what actual size that the name was input and
Yeah,
having
yeah.
another if statement to see if it's bigger than what we said, don't do it. So we'd have to do something like if first name dot length is greater than size, then if it's bigger than what we allocated, of when it came, if it's big, if it's smaller than what the size is, then size. Oh, it's final, so I can't do that. So then max equals first name dot length. That. And then change this. Are you not happy with max there? Oh, gotcha. Oh, so picky, Java. There you go. Okay. All right. More stuff. So now we're going to say, run it again. Oh, it won't work now. I know it won't work. It actually worked for that. Okay. All right. So no, there's a little technicality here and there. Your lab is not asking you that difficult. I have to make sure that max is originally set to size. And I think that'll work. Oh, okay. So a little bit going on here, but I'll make this code available. If our length is less than size, it means that we want to make sure that we aren't, what Michael's saying is right, that we aren't trying to grab characters that don't exist from the first name. So we can't make, so the max of the Boolean expression in the loop can't be any greater than the length of the name, which if we hard coded to size, it was happening that way. So I think we're good. But okay. All right. So with that, we did not get to start the lab tonight. So the lab is going to be your next week's assignment, which is fine because in the following week we will be doing, I'll give you the lesson, not in person, but I'll give you the lesson for input validation, which is pretty easy, which is pretty simple stuff. And so I will then with that, I'm going to change the due date though to